As the Toronto Maple Leafs gear up to open their training camp on September 18th, there's buzz around the possibility of new additions to the roster. The Puckpedia's Puck GM tool, which allows fans to create their own trade scenarios, has sparked an intriguing proposal. Lawson Crouse from Utah coming to the Leafs. In this hypothetical trade, the Maple Leafs would acquire Lawson Crouse, a solid middle six forward, while Utah would receive Nick Robertson, Timothy Liljegren, and a 2027 second-round pick. Crouse, who was picked 11th overall in the 2015 NHL draft, is known for his depth-scoring ability. Last season, he notched 23 goals and 19 assists, totaling 42 points in 82 games with Arizona. His career stats include 103 goals and 94 assists over 504 games. On the flip side, Robertson and Liljegren have faced challenges securing consistent roles in the NHL. Robertson, who recently signed a one-year $875,000 deal, has struggled with injuries and lineup consistency. Liljegren, despite being a healthy scratch during critical moments, was given a 2-year extension this offseason by the Leafs. Maple Leafs general manager Brad Treliving commented on Robertson's extension, noting his good relationship with the player and expressing optimism for his future. Treliving emphasized the importance of rounding out one's game and sees this as a fresh start for Robertson under new coaching. Meanwhile, big changes are happening in Utah. The team, relocated from Arizona, will be known as the Utah Hockey Club for the upcoming season. Fans are currently voting on a permanent team name, with options like Utah Blizzard, Utah Mammoth, and Utah Yeti in the mix. The team will sport jerseys featuring Utah as they build their brand identity for the future. Phil Kessel, the renowned forward who once dazzled fans in Toronto, is on the hunt for a new NHL contract. According to NHL insider Elliotte Friedman, Kessel is eager to get back on the ice after his last appearance with the Vegas Golden Knights during their victorious 2023 Stanley Cup run. Despite his efforts, Kessel didn't secure a spot last season, even after a tryout with the Vancouver Canucks. With NHL training camps about to kick off, Kessel is making calls to teams, hoping to find a spot on a roster. On the 32 Thoughts the podcast, Friedman shared, he wants to play. I heard Kessel was calling teams and really wanted to play. It's very legitimate that he has put it out there. Kessel, a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, could provide valuable depth as a middle six forward. However, whether teams will take a chance on him remains uncertain. Throughout his career, Kessel has played in 286 games, scoring 413 goals and 579 assists, totaling an impressive 992 points. In a twist, Friedman also mentioned that the Columbus Blue Jackets showed interest in Kessel. I wondered if there was any chance that Phil Kessel may end up there, Friedman noted. However, with the Blue Jackets signing James Van Riemsdyk, Kessel's future with them is unclear. Meanwhile, back in Toronto, Maple Leafs GM Brad Treliving is keeping the door open for potential roster changes. As the team prepares for the 2024-25 NHL season, Treliving stated, "We're not set yet. We continue to look at ways to make our team better." Earlier this week, the Toronto Maple Leafs made headlines by signing Max Pacioretty to a professional tryout, PTO. While this move might have surprised some fans, General Manager Brad Treliving assures us it's all part of a well-thought-out strategy. Pacioretty has faced a tough couple of years with injuries, limiting his playtime with the Carolina Hurricanes and Washington Capitals. However, not long ago, he was a standout performer, averaging 24 goals a year during his 4 seasons with the Vegas Golden Knights. His offensive skills are undeniable, and Toronto sees potential value in what he can bring to the team. When the Leafs announced Pacioretty's PTO, some fans questioned whether a roster spot might have been better used on younger, healthier talent. But Treliving addressed these concerns in a media session on September 12th, clarifying that the decision was far from impulsive. Pacioretty had been on their radar for weeks, and with his health improving and focus on recovery, the timing felt right. "We will see what Pacioretty's role is," Treliving said. "With Max, he is a veteran guy who has been beset by injuries in the last couple of years. We brought Max in about a month or 3 weeks ago for a couple of days, and he was very open to not only going through a medical exam, but also getting on the ice for us to see where he is at." Pacioretty himself emphasized that this year is different. Instead of just training, he's been heavily focused on rehab, preparing for a full season come October. This is promising news for the Leafs, as Pacioretty could provide much-needed depth to the third and fourth lines and add leadership to a locker room brimming with young talent. His scoring ability, when healthy, could also enhance Toronto's offensive options. However, don't expect any free passes for Pacioretty. Treliving made it clear that every player must earn their spot, and Pacioretty will need to prove himself during training camp. Nevertheless, Treliving does expect him to be on the opening night roster if everything goes according to plan. "My expectation is he's going to be with us, but everyone has to earn their spot here," Treliving affirmed. If Pacioretty makes the cut, his presence will add an intriguing dynamic to the age-old Maple Leafs versus Canadiens rivalry, given his years as captain in Montreal. Seeing him in blue and white during those matchups is sure to stir emotions on both sides. All things considered, signing Pacioretty to a PTO is a calculated risk for the Leafs. But if he stays healthy, it could pay off massively. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Max Pacioretty's potential impact on the Leafs? Could he be the missing piece Toronto needs? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Toronto Maple Leafs News Today for more exciting updates.